Morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Ninja Landlord Show here on VOP 90.3 FM. It's your girl. My name is Amara Onzurike, and yes, this is another exciting episode. And yes, I am always happy, super excited to be with you this beautiful Saturday morning. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you are resting. That's if you're not working. And I hope you are taking out time to take care of yourself and your loved ones. Yeah, so it's another exciting time, another super packed episode here on the Ninja Landlord Show. But before we go into that, let's quickly talk about what the show is all about. All right, so the Ninja Landlord Show is your number one real estate investment platform that brings you all the news and trendy updates, as well as the pros and cons of investing in the Nigerian real estate market. On this show, we'll show you how to make real estate work for you. Yes, that's what we do here. And it has been such an interesting journey. I mean, looking back to all of the episodes that we've been having, it has been quite a very thrilling experience. And I hope you have been enjoying the ride, right? So, yes, so today is another exciting episode, another value packed topic that we're going to be discussing. And as usual, I would always like you to connect with me. All right, I want you to engage and share your thoughts, send your questions, let me know, what you think about, all that we are going to share today, so that it can be a very rewarding and knowledgeable section for all of us, right? Myself included. All right, so yes, diving right into today's topic, another lesson, another valuable topic in the real estate market. We're looking at land banking versus cash flow properties. Which real estate strategy makes sense in Nigeria right now? Okay, so that's what we're looking at: land banking versus cash flow properties. Which real estate strategy makes sense in Nigeria right now? Okay, so let's, for example, I'm looking at this topic, giving a background, like an overview of the topic. You have you finally have like 10 million saved up, and you are done renting. You are ready to invest in real estate, but now you're there thinking, you're sitting right there thinking, do I buy empty land in an upcoming area, or do I buy a property that can generate rental income immediately, right? So buying an empty land, keeping it to appreciate over some time, a number of years, or do you just go ahead to buy a rental property and start getting income immediately? Because why I decided to put up this topic was because I saw somewhere on social media where someone was saying that, I mean, buying a property and building a house and putting it for rent is just a waste of time, because at the end of the day you're not able to recuperate your investments, right? You're not able to get back the capital that you put into that investment, and so you rather use that money to do something else, do some other form of business, and be able to get instant capital from your instant profits on your capital from that investment, so from that strategy that you're using. So I'd like to know, because most people, when I ask questions, they say it's not actually a simple choice, right? And honestly, there's no particular one size fits all. But I would like to hear what you think about this. Do you do cash flow properties or land banking? Where do you think I won't use the word safe now. I would say, where do you think what strategy, where do you think is more profiting for you, right? More profitable for you? And like I said, it depends on your goal at the end of the day, because everybody, if you're doing an investment, there's a goal. There's always a goal behind that investment. What is this investment for? What is the strategy of coming into this kind of investment, right? What is the projection in terms of recuperating your capital appreciation, and all of that from that investment? And so because of our goals, our strategies might be different, of course. So every kind of investment might not work for every person, right, or everybody. But I would like to hear your thoughts. All right, so let's dive right into it. For some people who are wondering, what exactly is land banking? Okay, so that we can be able to put these terms side by side. For us to be able to put analyze them, we need to actually give the definition for those who might be wondering, right? So land banking is buying empty land and holding it, and keeping it to appreciate for a considerable amount. No, I mean, for a period, it could be a short-term period, but keeping it to appreciate. I mean, in that period, considerably to as much as um, 20, 50% or 100% return on your investment, right? This strategy has created millionaires, a lot of millionaires in Nigeria. People, for example, people who bought plots in Lekki in 2005 for 3 million naira are sitting on 50 to 150 million naira today. Yeah, so I think this land banking, this strategy is very specific to the location, right? It is highly dependent on the location that you are able to put that investment, right? So I mean, that's why it works. So a lot of people who bought in this area, in this Lekki area, I mean, years ago, 2005, right? Not so long ago, and they're sitting in, I mean, they bought it at 3 million, but right now it's considerably, I mean, appreciated to about 80 to 150 million today. So this is about, if I put the returns, about 2000 to 2000 to like 5000, between that range, 2000 to 5000% return on that investment. So it's absolutely life changing, absolutely life changing. All right. So looking at the other strategy, cash flow properties, that is rental income generating assets, right? Where you could buy a house, or you could build a house, and then you're putting it out for investment, I mean, for rent, to get annual rental income. You could put it out for, you could lease it, could do it's just like a commercial space, right? And so you're getting rental income. It could be monthly, it could be annually, it could be a long-term kind of lease or something like that, right? So if you look at that industry right now, it's really at its peak. I would say the landlords are having their moment right now, right? Nigeria rental sector has been strong. It has been going strong for some time now, right? Due to the inflation in the industry, in the economy, and we see a lot of spikes in the amounts in rent across. I mean, across the state. It's not even just peculiar to the major cities. But in 2026 is entering is entering an overdrive. That's it. It's becoming ridiculous. It's becoming ridiculous, and rents are right sky high. The vacancy rates are low. People are looking for houses, searching for months. Rental properties are the new cash cows now. So, which one makes sense to you in 2026, right? If you were going to that kind of investment, or you are due, or you have been doing it, or you are in one of them already, what would you say? Which would you say is it's more profiting for you right now, right? In especially in this period, in this economic terrain that we are in. So that is why we are having this episode. Yes, we're breaking it down today. No hype, no BS, but we're just going to be talking about real numbers and real strategies, and the right approach that would fit your goal and your resources, your capital, and your timeline. Because yes, with investment, your investments must have a timeline. So now, before we compare them, let's look at the benefits of these two strategies, these two investment models, right? The land banking long game. The land banking is like the future. When you look at the benefits. It's like you're buying for future sale or development. People who are in land banking target areas that are currently underdeveloped, but they show signs of future growth. Now, how exactly it works is that you buy raw undeveloped land today, and then you hold it for 3 to 10 years. Yeah, it could be as long as that, sometimes even longer. And then when the infrastructure, of course, development is coming around there or towards that area, the land value appreciates. Sometimes it could appreciate dramatically. I mean, if you're in a region where the government is really investing heavily in infrastructure, it could end up appreciating dramatically. And then you sell, for profit, or you can develop it yourself, all right, to use it for what you want. So now the benefit is that the lower cost entry, it's lower, right? The cost of entry is lower. The land is cheaper than the developed property. It has minimal maintenance. That's it. You don't have to, if you buy just the bare land, you don't have to go and start repairing anything or maintaining anything or rebuilding any kind of thing, because it's just a bare land. The most you could do is maybe fence it, right, or pay for the security. So it has minimal maintenance, no tenants, no repairs, no utilities. And then also it has potential for massive appreciation. We're talking about 100 to 500% possible returns on investment. That is huge. All right, so there's also no active management needed on this. You don't need to be present or to be supervising or going out to. You could just put up, pay for a security, and you could just probably go check it once in a year or twice in a year. I mean, less time management. Now, the catch about this is that it has zero cash flow, because when you buy that land, the land doesn't pay you for a while, right? You wait for, like I said, 3, 10, or probably more years. The longer the holding period, the longer your time, your money is tied up to in that property, right? Then also infrastructural risk. There's promised roads might never come. That's the infrastructure that the government in that area, in that state that you bought that property, they might have a lot of promising projects that they want to put up around that area. Maybe that's the reason why you go into that location to buy, and that those projects never come. I mean, it's in the works. It's in the works, and then it's just taking a whole lot of time. I mean, you know how our government can be, pun intended. All right, so it could just it could go south. That's what I'm trying to say. So we have that as one of the cons, and then we look at the opportunity costs. The capital could be working somewhere else. That capital that you've tied down on that property, you could actually have put it in another business or another kind of investment that would have even started yielding much faster for you. All right, so those are the pros and cons of the land banking investment model. And then we look at the cash flow properties, the income play. Now, like I said, this is buying developed property, or you build your own, and then you put it out for rent, in terms of shops, apartments, duplexes, shopping complexes, all of that kind of commercial spaces, specifically just to generate income. And now, how it works is that you now find tenants. All right, that's one of the workings of that kind of investment, right? Some things that you have to do to make the investment profitable. You get tenants, you collect rental months, rent monthly or annually, the property also appreciates over time. That's the bonus to this kind of investment. While you're collecting the rent, while you're doing all of that kind of um, you know um, management on the property, the asset is also appreciating over the years. So yeah, the bonus of that's a plus. So also you get income now plus capital appreciation later. That's it. You're getting rental income now. The asset is generating rental income now for you, and then capital appreciation later. So it's very appealing for investors because, I mean, immediate income, rent start flowing within months, and then also it heads against inflation. That's some of the pros of this kind of investment model. It heads against inflation, and your rent increases with the inflation, like we're seeing happening right now, and also the appreciation plus cash flow. That's a double benefit. The assets, the property is appreciating. All right, and then you can use the income to fund other investments. The income that you're getting from the rental, the rental payments, you could use it, put it into funding other forms of investments. Now, the catch up is about this kind of investment strategy is that it has a higher entry cost. That's it. You have to have some considerably form of investment, some considerable form of capital. I'm talking about as much as 30 to 80 million versus the 5 to 15 million for land banking, right? So that's one of the cons, right? The considerable amount of investments that you have to put in for this. Then we have also the active time management. It could be time consuming, because managing a property, getting rental income, even if you put up someone to do that, to have a service manager, facility manager, you could still have to sometimes be hands on, right, to be able to make sure that you are monitoring your investment, monitoring your property. And also it also requires some form of active maintenance. There's going to be constant ongoing repairs, right, on that property. So you have to maintain, you have to do some repairs, and that costs money. Then we also look at the vacancy risk. That's the period without rents, because you could finish putting up that property, and you're looking for the right tenants, and it could, before you know anything, the property could be sitting for a couple of months empty, and that is money that you are losing, right? So that's some of the cons. And we also must note that sometimes this maintenance can eat into your returns. That's the money that you get from the rents. You end up spending like as much as one third of it on maintenance. So looking at these two strategies, both of them are legitimate real estate investment models. They are very profiting in their own rights. Both can make you wealthy, but they serve different purposes and fit different investors' profile. So I would like to ask that, what is your thoughts if you were, thinking about going into this kind of investment? Which would you say is the most attractive, the most profiting for you? I would like to hear your thoughts. Or if you are already, into this, if you're buying land and you're keeping it up to appreciate over time before you go in to develop, or you are, a landlord, you have some form of rental income coming in monthly or annually. Which one has been more profiting or more productive for you, right, in terms of your personal goal and your strategy? So I would like to hear your thoughts. Or if you're doing both, there are some people that are, the I'll call them the smart investors. They are already doing some of this, even if at a low point, at a low entry point, but they are doing this, or they're scaling it up, into much bigger investments. So I would like to know your thoughts before I go over to look at the market context of this investment strategy, because we've looked at the pros and the cons of this strategy, but we also have to look at the economic context, like the market context, like what what which one is really working, looking at the terrain, the economic terrain that we are right now. So yes, I will dive more into this when I come back. I'm going for a short break, and when I come back, I'll also be opening the phone lines to hear from you. So stay tuned. I would be right back. Don't touch that dial.
For real estate market insight and industry trends, join Amara on the Ninja Landlord Show, where we show you how to make real estate work for you. For different investments, strategies from real estate experts on Ninja Real Estates. Elevate your financial education and investment in Nigeria. So tune in every Saturday on VOP 90.3 from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Ninja Landlord Show, the voice of real estate in Nigeria.
Hello. Welcome back to the Ninja Landlord Show here on VOP 90.3 FM. It's been such a thrilling time with you all. I hope you've been getting value. You've been getting value from, this this very, very insightful topic that we have been looking at today. we're talking about, that's for if you're just joining us, we have been talking about land banking versus cash flow properties. Which real estate strategy makes sense in Nigeria right now? And yes, we have been, dissecting these two investment strategies, these two investment models, and looking at, what works and which is more profiting, looking at the economic terrain, looking at the industry right now. Yes, so it has been such a very insightful section, if I do say so myself, and we have been able to, analyze some of the pros and cons of this strategies, these models. We have also looked at, um, the different um, the different incomes that you need. I mean, investments that you can make from this kind of strategy. Yes. So I'll be opening the phone lines. I would like to hear your thoughts. Like, let me know what you think about this. I'll be opening your phone line. So the phone line. So call me. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Okay, so that is the that's the line to call, 0700 903 903 903. Or you can send me a WhatsApp chat on 081 717 56338, 081 717 56338. Let me hear your thoughts. All right, so I said we're going to be looking at the the next the next segment is we're going to be looking at the current market context, right? The current market context, especially in this year 2026, right? So to make an intelligent decision. Okay, I have a caller. All right. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear you, so please call back. I can't hear you. So call me back. 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. So looking at the current the market's context, to make an intelligent decision in any of this, using any of this strategy, you need to understand what's happening in the Nigeria's real estate market right now, because 2026 is a unique moment, right? Looking at the land banking environment, what's working in favor of land banking now? Number one, infrastructure explosion. Okay, so if you look at the surrounding areas where you would like to buy this land banking, the best strategy is to go into developing cities, or close to, have this land banking in close proximity to developing cities and infrastructures. For example, if you want to do that in Lagos, you would look at the ongoing infrastructure, where the infrastructure is happening and developing, so that you can put the projection, the capital appreciation and projection that you're expecting in the long term, and so you can be able to forecast and be able to determine how much you might get in the long term. All right, so for example, if you're looking at Lagos, you see the infrastructure, the Dangote refinery operational, and then transforming Ibeju Lekki, and then you see the Lekki Deep Seaport fully functional. We see the Lagos Ibadan Expressway improvements. We see that area going expanding. Migration happening over that area. Then you go outside Lagos, other developing cities, Abuja, we see a lot of infrastructural reforms happening in these areas. Port Harcourt, Aba corridor, we see this industrial developments along that axis. We see in the eastern parts, Enugu, Asaba, we see massive infrastructural push. So the formula is simple: where government and private capital invest in roads, bridges, rail lines, airports, industrial zones, property values explodes. Right. So clear growth corridors, areas where land is appreciating fast in 2026. Those are the places that the infrastructure will give you the clear growth corridor paths. These are where you can say for sure that areas lands are appreciating fast. Then we also look at people who want to do, we see the diaspora capital that is coming in. So you look at where the diaspora is sending in their investments, where the capital is going into, right? So because the market forecast is that real estate will increase by 20 to 30%. Diaspora real estate investment will increase by 20 to 30%, and that most people are looking for verified, titled, secured, and professionally managed properties. So when you see this coming in, when you see diaspora capital coming into this real estate market, you're going to be sure that, okay, the places that they're looking to invest is where they are sure that their property is secured, and the already verified. So, I mean, their investment is safe. So, and many diaspora capitals, they start with land investment because it's lower risk and it's easier to manage from anywhere. So now, what's challenging about this land banking strategy, especially in the markets right now, is that higher entry prices. Okay, I have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello. I don't know why I'm missing my calls. All right, so the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. Okay, 0700 903 903 903. So I got some message on WhatsApp. Good morning, God bless VOP. All right, thank you so much. I don't have your name here. Okay, so yes, you can send me a message on our WhatsApp line 081 Okay, and our call line is 0700 903 903 903. So like I was saying, what's the challenging factors for land banking? We see higher entry prices. I mean, even some of these emerging areas, we're seeing an increase because people are now more aware of this investment model, and so I mean the demand is increasing, and so we are seeing higher entry prices for even emerging locations. They are no longer cheap like before. If you say, oh, if I go close to some of these upcoming areas, I would be able to see very cheap, as cheap as 500,000 or at least less than $1 million. But right now it's not so. I mean, the inflation is happening, so it's also affecting every sector, and so some of these areas are also they're no longer cheap. They are also increasing in their prices. So for example, what used to cost about 500k in the time past per plot, you could now be seeing that plot going for about 3 to 5 million. I'm talking about in decent locations, right? And so we see also another challenge of this kind of model is the title risk. Now, most of this, because they are still largely undeveloped land, most of these properties do not have perfect titles. The titles have not been perfected, so the onus is on you as the buyer to go ahead to perfect these titles. So it could cost a lot of bottleneck. I mean, trying to get these documents in place and all of that, and it could become challenging. You could even do the right paperwork, and maybe if you don't fence immediately, you can get some kind of some form of encroachment. All right, so it's some of this kind of scenarios that make people wary of coming into this kind of investment. So another challenge is the longer wait time. Sometimes you have to wait even longer than projected, right? So you see some people that have bought and thinking that in like 5 years or 10 years this place would have opened up, but I mean over time that may not be the case, right? So these are some of the challenges of this strategy because of the markets, the economic environment right now, right? And then we also look at the cash flow property environment. That's what's working in favor of rental properties. Now we see rental market expansion, right? Like I said this earlier, we see, for example, 2-bedroom flats in Lagos, in Abuja, it now command between 1.5 million and 4 million per year, right? I mean, if you go to the island, you can see some places that are as much as 7 million. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is about 30%. I mean, some of them 100% increase in the rents and the rent prices. So we have seen the spike in the rents from 30 to 100% spike increase in the rents across this country on average. I mean, you see that you are roughly paying, I mean, you're paying like up to 40% of your income on rent. All right, so that's really, really on the high side. And this is in favor of those who own the properties, right? They are the ones cashing out. And then we also see another favor of this kind of investment, low vacancy. Oh, sorry, another con, like I've mentioned, low vacancy rates. Okay, I thought that was a call. All right, so if you've been trying to reach, please keep trying. It's 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and WhatsApp call. You can also do a call on WhatsApp. Yeah. Okay, I think the call is back. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Amara.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
Good morning. Well done. My name is Mayor. I'm calling from Festac.
Mayor. Right?
Yes, you know the mayor?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay. There was a time at the Nigeria Landlord Summit last year.
Oh, wow.
We met.
That's amazing.
Well done.
Thank you so
much. Yeah, you are doing a great job. The two investment opportunities are quite commendable. So I just want to commend you. Like the land banking is a very good way of investment.
Yeah.
So people who have some idle cash, I think it's commendable for them, for that money to get you some good returns. Instead of it's like you don't feed it, you don't feed the land, you don't just get a good land with a good title.
Yeah.
And most likely in a fast developing area, most times within a year, you get some good returns. So I encourage anybody that wants to invest on that land, but just do your due diligence right. Get all the necessary information. I mean, you are good to go. You will definitely not regret your action. Also, the other one,
cash flow property, yeah.
The cash flow, yeah. This one is very good. Like if you have a property, as you have like 6 flats or 8 flats. I mean, that property is there. You'll be getting maybe rent, but that rent is just like an interest. Because if you acquire a property like 100 million, that you'll be getting that rent maybe in piecemeal kind of a thing until maybe the day you decide to sell it. They're not going to sell it at 100 again now. Definitely like 150 or 200.
Yeah.
So that one that you got in between, like that rent is just like extra, maybe additional income. So definitely the property must appreciate, and you get maximum return on investment. You not regret it. So I encourage anybody. Those two aspects that we have said this morning are quite commendable. So you are doing a great job.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayor, for calling.
Have a great day. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for that contribution. Very, very insightful. I mean, he's saying about the two models, these two strategies. They can actually, I mean, they're actually very, very profitable, and they can actually work for anybody. And if you can, that's actually where my conclusion is going to be, where I'm going to. If you can actually, afford to do both of them, please go ahead. I mean, dive right in, be able to do that. Or you can put a long-term plan, put a portfolio whereby your long-term goal is to have these two investments assets in your portfolio. That's for the long term, and so you start planning, saving and investing in line with this goal, right? So that is where I'm going to go. So thank you. And he was also a participant of the Nigeria Landlord Summit, and I'm very grateful hearing from you. So please, if you were part of it, please always call me. You are, I mean, it's a community. You're a member of my community, and I always love to hear from you. All right, so going back, into where I left off, I was talking about the favor of the rental properties, right? And I talked about the low vacancy rate. So yes, it was kind of confusing for me, but it's in favor for this. I'm talking about the low vacancy in favor in for the cash flow properties. Now, because of the low vacancy, we don't have enough available spaces for rent. It becomes expedient that the people who have this, who are controlling this spaces, who have rights, have properties to put out for rent, now have much more bargaining power, right? So because of that, we see spike in the increase of rent across the state. So if you have a good property in decent area, you will find tenants. That's for sure, because the demand is high. Vacancy rates low. The vacancy rates are low, and the demand is high. So that's in favor. And this is one of the strategy of push that is pushing, and one of the pros that is pushing this kind of investment model. And I will see a strong rental yields, right? 6 to 10% annually. I mean, and this is consistent rental yield. Like the caller just said, that if you're getting this rent, it's like an interest. So it's like you did an investment and you're collecting the interest while the investment is appreciating. And I think that's a very, very unique way to look at it, because sometimes you might think that, I'm going to get my investment as I'm trying to get my capital, and in 20 years the rent that I've accumulated is not even up to the capital that I've put in there. But when you look at it from this other angle, whereby you're already collecting, what you're collecting is not your capital, what you're collecting is your interest on the capital. While your capital is appreciating, you're already spending your interest over time. So I think that's a beautiful way to analyze it. And then that's strong rental yield. And then my next point is desperate tenant demand. With the housing deficit at 22 to 28 million units, home ownership is now out of reach for most. So most people just have no choice but to rent. So property prices will keep climbing. That's the verdict. Property prices will keep climbing, and upfront payment culture will still dominate the renting market, right? Renting market is the only option for millions of people. So there's, consistent inflow. Now, what's challenging for the rental property is high entry costs. Like I mentioned earlier, you need about 30 to 80 million naira to be able to, get a decent rental property, like to own a decent rental property. Then the management headaches, the operational expenses, others operating expenses. All right, so I don't have time. I would have said let's do the maths. Like you buy this amount, you invest in this amount. I mean, but I think you have a hang of it. You have an idea of the projections, the maths involved, and on some of the expenses and the losses and the profits that you can accumulate right from these two investment models. So I would like to conclude by saying that as an investor, looking for the perfect or the most profiting strategy to go in, it will depend on where you are, right? It will depend on your income, your status, the budgets that you have that you can put out. So you should look at your income and also look at your investment appetite. If you have the appetite for high risk or low risk or a long-term investment, then depending on your investment appetite, that can determine the kind of investment you should go into. But the verdict is that both of them are very profiting. They're profitable. You would definitely get a good return on your investment. But if you do not have the capital to start big, you could start with the land banking model. Go into emerging cities like I've always preached here on the show. Start small and build your portfolio. From there, be consistent. Build your portfolio. Look for other investment strategies that would work for you. That would work for your for your income bracket, for your status, and then build consistently over time. That's my conclusion. And hopefully would dive more into analyzing the numbers in subsequent episodes. All right, so I hope you've gotten value. I'll be rounding up. Okay, a call came, but I'm sorry I can't take the call. You could send me a message if you want to join our WhatsApp line. Our WhatsApp line, Naija Landlord. Our WhatsApp channel and the Naija Landlord WhatsApp channel. So send me a message so that I can send you a link, because we post more of these updates, investment models, investment strategies, properties that are appreciating that you can buy and you can look into. So send me a message to 08064637377. 08064637377, a WhatsApp chat message, and I'll be able to send you the WhatsApp channel so that you can be able to get more information on all we just talked about today. All right, so I come your way same time next week. Do have a beautiful weekend. Stay blessed, stay rich, and stay free. My name is Amara Onwuzurike, and I am out.
This is not just radio. This is not just podcast. It's Tech Life. Where ideas turn to income. Where knowledge becomes power. Where the future is not waiting for. We build on it. Welcome to the Tech Life Radio Show. Welcome to the Tech Life Podcast. Let's go. Tech Life, we get to the future now. From the mind to the code, we run and anyhow. Tech Life, inspiration, now the crowd. The knowledge makes us, make us stand up for the crowd. Tech Life, everything get direction. From I get no execution, no distraction. Tech Life.